So guess what? I am victorious in the name of Jesus. I have to trust him in this great difficulty. Because he has never failed anyone who has claimed when we needed him the most. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21. And thine ear shall hear a word behind thee, what? Saying, this is the way, walk in it. When you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. We have to be so in tune with the Spirit of God, brothers and sisters, that we can hear that still small voice of Jesus speaking to us. We have to say, Lord, what is it that you, in those moments where we're tempted to be angry, in those moments where we're tempted to be impatient, we have to be still and know that God is still there. Lord, what should I do? Take a breath. Breathe. Meditate on this. Say this, it's not that. And God will direct you in what you should do in that moment of trial. It states, Heavenly Places, page 27, as soon as we incline our will, because again, we are our greatest enemies. We are the greatest hindrance of the miracles that God wants to perform in our lives. But as soon as we incline our will to harmonize with God's will, the grace of Christ stands ready to cooperate with the human agent. Like all of heaven, Jesus, the angels, the Holy Spirit is waiting for our cooperation. So all we have to do is say, I want your will to be done, and boom, his will be done. I want to have victory in this moment, Lord. I want to bear the fruits that's going to demonstrate that I'm connected to you at this very moment. I want to glorify my Father in heaven. I want to show the world that I am indeed in a loving and saving relationship with you. And as soon as we incline our will with God's will, Christ is ready to stand and cooperate with our decision. But I want you to notice Bible commentary. It states, if the voice of Jesus is not heeded at once, it becomes confused in the mind with a multitude of other voices. So understand what is being said here. I don't know about you, I can only speak for myself, right? But there's no new thing under the sun. No temptation has been common to man. That is, but you know what I'm saying? So what I might share, somebody may relate on some level with my experience. How many of us have been, let's say there's a New Year's resolution. We all have New Year's resolution, all right? About to lose some weight. 2019 is going to be the best year of my life, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I got goals. I'm going to say, okay, boom. All right, I'm going to get on this diet. I got signed up for the gym. And I'm about to go and I get invited to a New Year's party. All right, God says, here's the plan. I'm going to stick to it. God is, and you go, and there it is. There's this nice big piece of cake. And on the right side, there's a nice big fruit, a selection of fruit. Now, everyone seems to be enjoying the cake. Now, my cake is my favorite cake. It's a pineapple upside down cake. And I'm not a sweet tooth person, but that, ooh, I just... So imagine I'm walking in, I'm like, God, all right, Lord, be with me. I'm going to walk into this party. I'm going to have a good time with family and friends to bring in the new year. And there it is. Pineapple, upside down cake. God tells me immediately, remember the diet, you're on a plan. Okay. Eat fruit. But it has pineapple on the cake over here, Lord. Grab the fruit. Notice, what is the Spirit of God telling me to do at that very moment? To choose a fruit. As soon as I ignore it, it's amazing what other opinions come into play. Oh, it's just one piece of cake. Oh, everyone is enjoying it. It's your favorite cake. Just one piece won't harm you. You'll start hearing other things. And you wonder what that, now you know what that is. So guess what? You're right. I can start working out tomorrow. Then I eat the piece of cake. Oh, is the cake good? You best believe it. Everyone said I made the cake for you. But guess what happened the next morning? Oh, my stomach. Oh, I shouldn't have ate that. As soon as we do not heed the voice of God, we then are confused in the mind with a multitude of other voices. Those other voices, if it's not of Jesus, who do you think it is? This is why as soon as the temptation comes, and Jesus says, here's the way to escape, here's the way that you can overcome, we have to listen and comply immediately, because if not, we will trick ourselves into thinking that that thing isn't as bad as we think it is. Do you think Eve ate of the fruit because she thought it was really bad to eat? Like, if she really knew that she was going to die, do you think she would have ate it? But how did she convince herself? Oh, man, well, if the snake, the snake is talking. It's a beautiful thing. Did God really say, what? She was confused with a multitude of voices. She convinced herself that the thing that God told her not to do, she did it. And that's how she felt. As soon as we decide to ignore the voice of God, we will be confused with a multitude of voices. We want to become so sensitive to the holy influence that the lightest whisper of Jesus will move our shoulders. It is important, brothers, that again, going back, we have to be connected with Christ every day, every hour, every minute, every second of the day. I'm in every move throughout the day. I have to be inclined to listen to that still sweet small voice of Jesus. But brothers and sisters, I'll be honest, like the devil has done such a great job to distract us and bombard us with so many other things. Whether it be music, whether it be moving, like we're constantly being fed and we're constantly being distracted that we don't even have time to hear God's voice. And sometimes I don't think we like to hear, even our own thoughts. We rather fill it with other things. But God says, no, you have to be inclined. You have to listen to what I'm telling you, because at the end of the day, how can you know what to do if you're not listening to the voice and the answers that I'm giving to you? It says, allow no taunts, no threats, no sneering remark to induce you to violate your conscience in the least particular, and thus open the door whereby Satan can come in and control the mind. Don't let anyone convince you of, that slide messed up, but don't let anyone convince you to do something that God has told you not to do. And it's amazing how outside influences will convince us to do something that we know that we should not do. I gave this example last time. A good friend of mine, he visited from the islands, and he stayed for me for a couple of days and tried to clear his mind. And he was all like this no oil diet. Like, no oil. Like, he was adamant. And I'm just like, okay, well, I hung out with him before, and he could go a little extreme one time, but he was just, no, does this have oil? I'm like, bro, just enjoy it. Like, I'm being the taunting, the threatening, the sneer, like, bro, really? Like, we're not going to enjoy it, like, now